Good evening and welcome to the City of Connersville Common Council meeting, November 16th, 2020 meeting. Our Pledge of Allegiance will be led by Tommy Williams Jr. And as soon as the flag comes up, we'll get started. Okay, Tommy.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, sir. We'll start with roll call.
Councilwoman Barrett,
Present.
Councilman Williams Jr.,
Present.
Councilwoman Phillips,
Present.
Councilman Robb,
Present.
Councilman Gray,
Present.
Councilman Nettie,
Present.
Councilman Warner.
Here.
Okay. We all have the minutes from the November 2nd, 2020 regular meeting. Is there any additions or corrections to that? If not, I'll entertain a motion to approve.
Motion to approve.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. We have to do roll call votes.
Councilman Williams Jr.,
Yes.
Councilwoman Phillips,
Yes.
Councilman Robb,
Yes.
Councilman Gray,
Yes.
Councilman Nettie,
Yes.
Councilman Warner,
Yes.
Councilwoman Barrett.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you. On to new business. Jolisa, can you come on screen, please? Rosemary, is there anyone in there?
No.
Okay, we're going to open the public hearing for approval of resolution 2020-75. Jolisa, can you take it from here?
Yes, at the last meeting, we had sent a preliminary resolution that established that tonight was the public hearing. And what it is Carol Hathaway has submitted a request for a residential tax abatement of several lots that's located at Tarkington Heights. We were able to go ahead and submit those for council approval because Tarkington Heights had been approved as an economic target area sometimes back. And it will continue to remain and be considered a residentially distressed area unless something was to take place to where the city council would remove that designation. So that being said, this property does qualify for a residential tax abatement, and she has submitted her request. So at this time, we would request that the council approve to go ahead and grant that 5-year residential tax abatement for her property.
Okay, since this is a public hearing and no one from the public is here, I will close the public hearing and see if council has any questions for this. Carol is here if you have any questions for her. If there's no questions, then we can entertain a motion to approve the residential tax abatement.
So
Make a
moved.
motion.
Aronson, Philip, Diana. On a roll call vote, Councilwoman Phillips,
Yes.
Councilman Robb,
Yes.
Councilman Gray,
Yes.
Councilman Nettie,
Yes.
Councilman Warner,
Yes.
Councilwoman Barrett,
Yes.
Councilman Williams Jr.
Yes.
Okay, thank you very much, Carol. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Appreciate all your efforts. And if you want to leave the meeting now, you're more than welcome to.
I thank you.
Thank you, Jaleesa. Item B, approval of pending ordinance 3617, creation of Airport CARES Act Fund, Homeland Security Fund, and CESF Fund. Rosemary?
Whenever, according to State Board of Accounts, whenever we create a fund, it should be created based or with an ordinance or a resolution. They have bypassed that and it's not really required right now, but I still like to create them with the ordinance.
Any questions from council? If not, I'll take a motion to approve pending orders 3617 on first reading.
Motion. Second.
We have a motion and a second. Roll call.
Councilman Rob,
Yes.
Councilman Gray,
Yes.
Councilman Nettie,
Yes.
Councilman Warner,
Yes.
Councilwoman Barrett,
Yes.
Councilman Williams Jr.,
Yes.
Councilwoman Phillips.
Yes.
Okay, we have a motion to suspend the rules. We'll go to third and final.
So moved.
Was there a
Second.
motion?
Yes.
I just made a motion.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Who, I don't know who seconded it though. I didn't hear the second.
I did.
Okay,
I did.
Clint seconded it. So we got a roll call vote.
Councilman Gray,
Yes.
Councilman Nettie,
Yes.
Councilman Warner,
Yes.
Councilwoman Barrett,
Yes.
Councilman Williams Jr.,
Yes.
Councilwoman Phillips,
Yes.
Councilman Rob.
Yes.
Okay, we have a motion to suspend the rules. I'm sorry, go ahead. We're on third and final. Have a motion for third and final.
Motion.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Roll call vote, please.
Councilman Nettie,
Yes.
Councilman Warner,
Yes.
Councilwoman Barrett,
Yes.
Councilman Williams Jr.,
Yes.
Councilwoman Phillips,
Yes.
Councilman Rob,
Yes.
Councilman Gray.
Yes.
Okay, thank you very much. Item C and D, we have two pending ordinances, 3618 and 3619. They're both transfers. Questions from council on these?
Move we take ordinance, pending ordinance 3618 and 3619 for approval.
We have a motion for a first reading
Second.
and a second. Roll call vote, please.
Councilman Warner,
Yes.
Councilwoman Barrett,
Yes.
Councilman Williams Jr.,
Yes.
Councilwoman Phillips,
Yes.
Councilman Rob,
Yes.
Councilman Gray,
Yes.
Councilman Nettie.
Yes.
We have a motion to suspend the rules.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Roll call vote.
Councilwoman Barrett,
Yes.
Councilman Williams Jr.,
Yes.
Councilwoman Phillips,
Yes.
Councilman Rob,
Yes.
Councilman Gray,
Yes.
Councilman Nettie,
Yes.
Councilman Warner.
Yes.
And we have a motion for a third and final reading.
So
So
moved.
moved.
We have a motion and a second. Roll call vote, please.
Councilman Williams Jr.,
Yes.
Councilwoman Phillips,
Yes.
Councilman Rob,
Yes.
Councilman Gray,
Yes.
Councilman Nettie,
Yes.
Councilman Warner,
Yes.
Councilwoman Barrett,
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Item E, approval of resolution 2020-76. It's a preliminary resolution for vacant tax abatement. Jaleesa?
Yes, you have in front of you a preliminary resolution. It is a request from Advantage Wire Machine. Steve Mitchell is the owner, and he is asking for a vacant building deduction on some property that is located up in the industrial park. 5480 Industrial Avenue is actually the building. And with the vacant building deduction, it is slightly different than what we would normally consider a tax abatement, in that a vacant building deduction is basically a deduction from real property assessed valuation for that building. It's not any kind of real estate improvements that are made after that building is approved for this. So any kind of new improvements would not be covered under this. This would just be the existing current assessed value of the property. This actual resolution is just to establish a public hearing And then a final resolution will need to be passed at the next city council meeting on December 7th. But this is just part of the process. It's very similar to the tax abatement process when it comes to establishing this. So before the next meeting, I will make sure everybody has a copy of the SB1 forms to review. And if anybody has any questions or anything like that, I'd be more than happy to meet with them or to answer those questions.
Okay, so we need just to approve this resolution for a public hearing.
Yes.
So any questions from council? Does everybody know which building this is? I get a yes. Okay. So we need a motion to approve this resolution for a 2020-76 for a public hearing.
Motion.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Roll call vote, please.
Councilwoman Phillips,
Yes.
Councilman Rob,
Yes.
Councilman Gray,
Yes.
Councilman Nettie,
Yes.
Councilman Warner,
Yes.
Councilman Barrett,
Yes.
Councilman Williams Jr.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Department reports, Catherine.
Hi, everybody. Just a couple of, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Just a couple updates here at the Miller Building. We had the flooring that got started this morning. They're going to start upstairs and work their way down to the banquet hall. So hoping to have that done in the next couple of weeks. And also a quick update on Longwood Bridge. The bridge right is coming on Saturday. He'll be here until Monday. And then he'll be offering his expertise to the contractors who are working up a bid to fix the bridge. So those are the only updates to the report that I handed in, unless anybody has any questions.
No? Okay, thank you, Catherine. Chief Bolos.
Yeah, good evening.
Good evening.
I don't have that much either for October. You guys have my totals in front of you. If you have any questions. If there's none, then I have no further to report at this time.
Did everybody getting their emails weekly?
Yes.
Your
Yes.
orders, are they coming through to everybody?
I'm not getting them.
You're not getting
How,
them?
how is it going with the, I know we got a list of vehicles. How is that going?
Yeah, did you get a list of that?
Yes.
Like 3 days ago. I mean, we stay on top of those. So when the time expires, then one of our officers goes out and gets them towed.
Okay, great,
Keep track of the dates.
great. Thank you.
Welcome.
I know the month of October, there were 28 vehicles tagged and 7 had to be towed by officers. The remainder was taken care of by the owners. That was just the month of October.
I have a question, Randy. On the vehicles that we're towing, are the owners getting charged for those tows?
Yes, we don't pay their tow.
Okay.
So either they pay for it to get them out of tow service or they stay. Depending on what it was towed for, it might be abandoned. So that'd be between the owners and the tow service.
Okay.
Any other questions? Okay, thank you. John, I don't know if you can hear me. You have anything, John?
Had to turn down the volume in the studio so it didn't feed back.
Sorry.
Unfortunately, I won't be able to hear you, so you can't ask me questions. But we had 13 hours, 27 minutes of meeting production last month, 15 hours, 46 minutes of original production. What I wanted to cover in particular, though, is that in cooperation with the school administration, we'll be producing as many CHS sporting events, particularly girls and boys basketball, as we can because of limitations on people being able to enter. So we're really going to be focusing on that, but they keep pushing back the season beginning. So our first game should be this Saturday, girls at home against Anderson. So that's what we're looking forward to. And also all of the grant equipment has been installed and is ready to go. So I'd say if you have any questions, ask, but I can't hear you. So
Thank you, sir.
that's all I have, though.
Along with that, I know this, if anybody saw the Board of Works today, we had several technical difficulties, to say the least, but a lot of that is due to outdated tech. So, and Zoom was having issues nationwide today. So that was mainly the big issue was Zoom. So we do apologize for any inconveniences we had at the Board of Works meeting. It was kind of frustrating, but that was nationwide. It wasn't just us. So thanks, John, for getting on it and all you guys do. Clint's not here. Scott Jones.
Good evening.
Evening.
Everyone should have a copy of my overtime report. I was actually off for a couple weeks, so you don't have a copy of the run report for October, but you'll have that next month. As you can see, the overtime was a little higher for October. I had some sick leave, so we had to cover spots. And it was also a 3-pay month in October, so you would see a little bit of an increase from that. But overall, I had to cover some sick leave, so that's why you see a little bit of an increase in the overtime. But is there any questions with that?
No. Okay. Thank you, Scott.
Thanks.
Brad.
Those guys were pretty fast, so I'll use all their time. You saw both the street department and the utility report, so those are pretty self-explanatory. You can see we had the street department out doing quite a bit, finishing up in the good weather. So I thought I would tell you that the leaf machines are both up and running, and we have both of them on the west side of town, up on the hill right now. And as soon as they get done up there, they're going to start up on the north end, both trucks, and head south. So hopefully we can cover town a couple more times before we get a big snow or something. We'll probably keep running those till the end of the first week of December. The other thing I wanted to tell you, I told the Board of Works today, but we got the wastewater plant solar field online. That solar field is about 60% of the total solar project. So that has been a big deal trying to get that up and running. We had a little difficulty getting that project accepted, and we want to thank Chip Orban. He did a lot of work behind the scenes to help us get that agreement with Duke Energy. And it's up and making power. It's in a test phase right now, but we're glad to see that project up and running. Other than that, the city paving's finished. Memorial Drive project's just about finished. Got about another week or a week and a half on 30th Street. And that's about it, unless anybody's got any questions.
Explain on the leaf machine, Brad, without rocks and sticks and stuff.
Yeah, so we had one of the leaf machines down for a couple of weeks waiting on parts because we picked up a big old rock and it tore the impeller up. So do your best to not get any rocks mixed in with those leaves, and if you can, try not to get any limbs in there because it plugs up the tubes and all that. So
just be very careful when you're out there raking your leaves into a pile. Make sure there's no rocks. It's kind of a big deal. Anything else, Brad?
I will say 24th Street is wonderful. It's needed that for a long time, and it's a lot. I mean, it's wonderful.
I was real happy with everything.
We did about, all of that paving was about $800,000 worth. Actually more than that, because I had them fix a bunch of catch basins and we went a little over on the sidewalk ramp. So I think they all turned out pretty well.
Yep, they sure did.
Any questions for Brad? Nope. Move on down to old business. Is there any old business? Okay, let's move on to miscellaneous. I have a few things. I would like to encourage the public and everyone to get online or come to City Hall. We can share it with you, but the governor's executive order, it's 15 pages long. It's pretty.
I had Diana send that executive order out to this group and also the Board of Works, so they have copies of it. So if anybody asks them about it, they have it available.
Perfect. Read that. If you have questions, you're more than welcome to ask. One of the frustrating things is, I know he made his announcement on Wednesday, but we didn't get this till late Friday evening. So it makes it pretty hard to get everything out and deciphered before Monday. So we're on the phone constantly with a health department. I was on the phone this morning with Dr. White. So he was, everything in this order really we're already doing. There's only one section that we did not do that we are doing now, obviously, because we're in the red. And that is no more than 25 persons at a gathering. So I just want really the businesses need to read this. I know Dr. White went around Tuesday with the state fire marshal and different people to look and inspect businesses. He told me he was very surprised on how well they were already doing. Not a whole lot of fixes to be made, or businesses and restaurants were doing it. I actually talked to a TV reporter today. She said, I was in your businesses and they were all following the guidelines very well. And a lot of people were too. So we just got to keep practicing this. We got to keep doing what they're asking us to do. Wear your mask, wash your hands, social distance. As far as the city, I know the Polar Express is going to be running at a very minimal capacity. They have got approval from the health department with their plan. That's something else businesses need to look at, is plans you got to put in place. That's also going to put them in a bad spot because their income is going to be way down, and they're a not-for-profit group, and it's going to be hard for them next year. So there's multiple effects to this, but they are doing the Polar Express. We are going to set our Santa house. We are not going to have Mr. and Mrs. Claus in there. I'm not for sure what we're going to do yet as far as maybe some photo pictures or something people can do for photos, but we're working on that, and we're not going to hold our Christmas tree lighting for the public. It will be on Zoom, not Zoom, Facebook Live. We'll do something just so we can have a tree lighting, but it won't be a public event. So we'll do it on Facebook. As far as our numbers, we're no longer number 1. We're now number 29. It was from Dr. White this morning, and our positivity rate's cut in half. We were 25%. We're now 12.5%. So we're moving in the right direction. Are we out of the woods? Absolutely not. But we are moving in the right direction. People are doing what they've been asked, which is positive signs. So just keep plugging away. Just keep practicing the guidelines, and hopefully these numbers will continue to go down. So, but read these and understand them, because I imagine you're going to get a lot of questions. But by them driving around talking to the businesses, I think that helped a lot. So a lot of the businesses, their questions may not be as much, but a lot of businesses even started to self-impose their own restrictions. So that's a good thing. So anybody else have any miscellaneous business or questions?
I had one thing that I forgot earlier.
Yes, sir.
We do have the TV3 Call-In Santa show coming up December 3rd. It'll be live at 7 p.m. And we're really focusing on that this year because we realize that the children are not going to be able to get out and talk to Santa Claus or sit in Santa Claus' lap this year. But this will give the kids in our community direct access to Santa. That could call in, talk to him live on the phone. They could see him on TV. So that'll be December 3rd. Beginning at 7 p.m. and we'll have that on TV3 cable as well as live streamed. That was all I had.
I do have something about the website. I know I'm getting some comments on it. The website is up and running. We had to launch it a little sooner than we were wanting to do because of hacker attacks. Is that the easiest way to say it, John? We're being attacked pretty hard.
The software was out of date and the security on it was very lax. So every day we were losing control of it. We were fortunate enough to have it blocked to a certain point so that they couldn't take it over and put, whatever they wanted on there. But it was
Right.
still, we were losing control.
We were getting hit pretty hard. So we went ahead and launched the new one. It's not fully functional. If you know me, I hate putting anything out that's not fully functional. I know John's getting tired of hearing me, but it's up and running. It looks fantastic. We're getting a lot of good compliments on it. But there are features that do not work yet that we are going to get working, but because of we had to jump in the launch date, they are not completely working yet. So there's some functionalities not working. We're getting there. We will get there, but we really didn't have a choice. We had to go ahead and launch it. Gotta love hackers. So is that pretty well summing up good, John, you think? You're the
Yes,
expert.
it does. I would encourage everybody to go take a look at it. If you see some errors that you want corrected right away, just give me a call, let me know, send me a text, and we'll get on it right away. Because there's a lot that we need to take care of. So
There's a lot to do, and we didn't get to do the proofing stage. So we had to get this thing live. So there are mistakes. We know that. That's just kind of stuff that drives me nuts, but we didn't have time to get it going. So be patient, bear with us. I've had a lot of good compliments, though. People saying, hey, it looks fantastic, and it does look good. So now we just gotta get the functionality like we want. So
It does look good.
You said-
It's very welcoming.
that was the goal. Very welcoming and community oriented was the goal. Does anybody else have any miscellaneous business? You guys are quiet tonight. Okay, well, if we don't have anything else, then I will move to a motion to take adjournment.
So moved.
Second.
A motion, a second, and roll call vote, please.
Councilman Barrett,
Yes.
Councilman Williams Jr.,
Yes.
Councilman Phillips,
Yes.
Councilman Rob,
Yes.
Councilman Gray,
Yes.
Nay,
Yes.
and Councilman Warner.
Yes.
Hey, don't cut us live yet, because I do have one more thing I did forget to say. Due to the executive order that goes through December 12th, our next city council meeting will be his Zoom meeting, by the way. And if he extends it, we will extend it ours as well. So sorry to do that after adjournment, but everyone have a wonderful day.